Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to dive into a topic that a lot of people are curious about, worried about, and maybe even misled about. The idea of World War III is one that has been floating around for years, and the thought of it becoming reality is terrifying for most people. But here's the truth. Most of what you've heard about preparing for a global conflict is either incomplete, exaggerated, or just not realistic. If you really want to know the real way to prepare for World War III, you need to shift your perspective. It's not about what people on the internet shout about, or the flashy gear that preppers like to show off. It's about strategy, mindset, practicality, and long-term survival. When most people think about preparation for war, their mind jumps straight to stockpiling weapons, ammunition, and building bunkers underground. While those things might sound useful in theory, they are not the ultimate answer. The truth is, very few people will ever be able to afford such measures, and even those who can are missing something much more critical. Preparation is not about building a fortress around you, it's about building resilience inside of you and within your community. Without resilience, even the best bunker can become a trap, and even the largest stockpile can become useless. One of the first things to understand is that World War III, if it ever happens, will not look like the wars of the past. People imagine tanks rolling through cities, soldiers fighting in the streets, and giant armies clashing in open battlefields. But in reality, it will likely be a combination of cyber warfare, economic warfare, disinformation, and targeted strikes, alongside conventional battles. That means the preparation is not just physical, it's digital, mental, and social. Being able to protect your information, guard against manipulation, and maintain a clear understanding of what is really happening could be just as important as food and water. Food security is often brought up when people talk about preparation, and they are not wrong. But stockpiling endless amounts of canned food is not the real solution. The real way to prepare is to learn how to produce food, preserve it, and sustain it. A small garden can be more valuable than 10 years of canned beans because it gives you renewable resources. Learning how to grow vegetables, save seeds, raise small livestock, or even build aquaponic systems can give you long-term independence. Remember, in a prolonged conflict, supply chains break down and imported goods disappear. If you cannot sustain yourself locally, you will eventually run out, no matter how much you hoard. Another overlooked aspect is water. Most people think of buying bottled water or storing barrels in their basements. That's good in the short term, but the real way to prepare is to understand how to filter, purify, and source water. Rivers, rainwater, and even groundwater can be used if you know how to make it safe. Having the skills to build basic filtration systems, knowing how to boil, and understanding chemical treatments can save lives. Water is life, and wars always disrupt access to clean sources. Those who know how to secure and purify water will always be ahead. Energy is another key factor. In modern society, we are addicted to electricity. If World War III involves cyber attacks or strikes on power grids, entire countries could go dark for weeks or months. Instead of depending solely on the grid, preparing means finding alternative energy sources. Solar panels, small generators, wind turbines, or even learning how to live with minimal electricity could make the difference between comfort and chaos. Being able to cook, heat your space, or keep communications running when the grid is down is part of true preparation. Now let's talk about health. In wartime, hospitals get overwhelmed, medicines run out, and access to healthcare becomes extremely limited. People who depend on constant medical supplies are at the highest risk. While some situations cannot be avoided, the real way to prepare is to improve your baseline health, reduce preventable conditions, and learn basic medical skills. First aid, CPR, wound treatment, and infection prevention could be the most valuable skills you ever learn. Stockpiling some medical supplies is wise, but knowledge is what gives you the edge. Being physically fit, eating well, and strengthening your body before a crisis can drastically increase your chances of survival. One of the biggest mistakes people make is preparing only for themselves. Isolation might work in the short term, but long-term survival requires community. In any major war, society fractures, and those who have strong networks tend to make it through. Building relationships with neighbors, creating local support groups, and sharing resources can multiply resilience. No matter how strong you are, you cannot defend against every threat, produce every resource, or know every skill. Communities can. A trusted group of people can pool knowledge, skills, and supplies, creating a level of safety no single individual can achieve. Mental strength is another area often overlooked. The stress, fear, and uncertainty of a world war would push people to their limits. Those who panic, freeze, or collapse mentally will not last long. The real way to prepare is to build mental toughness now. This means practicing discipline, learning to stay calm under pressure, and developing problem-solving skills. It means training your mind to adapt to chaos instead of shutting down. Meditation, journaling, physical training, and learning to embrace discomfort all build the mental muscles needed for survival. We also cannot ignore the financial aspect. Many think of preparation as only physical survival, but wars often begin with economic collapse, inflation, and shortages. Being financially prepared, by reducing debt, diversifying assets, and having some form of hard currency or tradable goods, is critical. Gold, silver, and other physical assets have historically survived wars better than paper currency. But just as important is learning skills that others will trade for. Carpentry, repair, farming, and even teaching can all become currencies in times when money loses value. Another truth is mobility. People who prepare by locking themselves into one place often forget that in war, relocation may become unavoidable. If conflict reaches your neighborhood, it won't matter how well stocked your home is. You may need to leave. Preparing means having a plan, knowing multiple routes, having a portable kit, and understanding how to move without drawing attention. Sometimes survival is not about defending a fortress, but about knowing when to walk away and start again somewhere safer. History has shown us that information is power. In war, propaganda spreads faster than truth, and people who fall for misinformation make poor decisions. Preparing for World War III means sharpening your ability to separate fact from fiction. This involves questioning sources, verifying information, and avoiding emotional manipulation. Staying informed without being consumed by panic is a skill that can keep you grounded when others are making dangerous choices. Another overlooked aspect of preparation is culture and morale. Humans are not machines. We need meaning, hope, and purpose to survive. In wars, those who lose hope often give up, even if they had the resources to keep going. Preparing means keeping a sense of purpose, maintaining routines, and holding on to something greater than the fear. Whether it's faith, family, or personal principles, holding on to meaning is just as vital as holding on to food and water. Let's not forget security. While weapons are often glorified, security is not just about firepower. It's about awareness, strategy, and prevention. Most people are not trained soldiers, and going into a war zone guns blazing is a quick way to die. Real preparation means learning how to avoid danger, how to defend smartly, and how to make yourself a harder target. It means blending in when needed, using deterrence wisely, and understanding that survival is not about fighting every battle, but about choosing the ones you can win. Another important point is adaptability. No matter how much you prepare, things will never go exactly as planned. The real survivors are those who can adapt, improvise, and use what's available. Preparing is not just about buying supplies, it's about learning skills that let you turn almost anything into something useful. From building shelter with basic tools to creating fire in different conditions, adaptability is what separates those who endure from those who collapse. Technology will also play a unique role in any future conflict. While some preppers focus on abandoning technology, the real way to prepare is to use it wisely. Having backup communication systems, offline maps, and secure data storage can keep you ahead. but you also need to prepare for life without technology in case it fails. Balancing both sides, using modern tools but not depending on them entirely, is the smart way forward. Family preparation is another cornerstone. If you are alone, you only have yourself to worry about. But most people have loved ones. Preparation means creating a plan together, training together, and knowing how to act if separated. Communication signals, safe meeting places, and role assignments can prevent panic when chaos hits. The strongest individuals can fail if their family is unprepared, because fear for loved ones is one of the most powerful human forces. The real way to prepare also involves understanding history. By studying how people survived past wars, you gain insights into what works and what doesn't. From the civilians of World War II to those who lived through modern conflicts, lessons are everywhere. Ordinary people made it through by relying on resourcefulness, community, and adaptability, not massive stockpiles or extreme measures. History is a guidebook for those willing to learn. Preparing for World War III is not about paranoia, it's about responsibility. It's not about living in fear, but about being ready to face uncertainty. The flashy images of bunkers and endless ammunition might grab attention, but they are not the true path. The real way to prepare is holistic. It's about body, mind, resources, community, and adaptability. It's about being ready for disruption in every form, not just one. You don't have to be wealthy or extreme to prepare. You just need to start small, step by step, building skills, improving health, connecting with people, and creating options. Every small improvement you make now is a step toward resilience later. And perhaps the most important truth is this: the best preparation for World War III is also preparation for life. The same skills, habits, and mindset that will help you survive war will also help you thrive in everyday life. Strong health, good relationships, adaptability, financial stability, and resilience are not just wartime tools. They are life tools. So when people ask about the real way to prepare for World War III, the answer is simple but powerful. It's not about fear. It's not about bunkers. It's not about weapons. It's about resilience, adaptability, and community. It's about preparing yourself as a human being to face whatever challenges come, whether it's war, disaster, or simply the unexpected turns of life.